Good morning, grade 10. We're back with 2.4, file management. So, computers store data for a number of reasons. Basically, data contains instructions that a computer uses to function. Data is loaded into memory that the computer is currently using. And storage allows the users, to keep data information long term. So the main structures that are commonly used is databases and files. The manner in which data is represented on a computer is seen as a hierarchy. So we're going to discuss databases and files. Data is saved in memory while in use by an application. That information needed for later access is stored in a database and file. And they're saved on your storage devices. So files are on your storage devices. They're talking here about a Windows registry. So you save your file on your hard drive somewhere, on your C drive or documents. Each file type has its own unique data structure that records all information in a format only the software can understand. We call it FAT, File Allocation Table. And that is a database that keeps track of everything that is on your hard drive. And the registry is a hierarchical database. So this FAT is a database and the registry is a hierarchical, in other words, it's got orders and from high to low, but it's a low level setting for the operating system and for applications. So the registry is used to store much of the information and settings for software programs and for your hardware devices and operating systems and so on. That's basically what a registry is. And the database, what is a database? It's a collection of organized data that can be accessed electronically. It is designed for rapid search and retrieval by a computer. And there are structures to facilitate the storage, retrieval, modification and deletion of data. So here we go. Files is the smallest. Files. You know that files are grouped in, we put files into folders, and each file is a single collection of data. That's what a file is, a single collection of data. A document on your computer is an example of a file. Your Word test document is a file. Say you saved it. So your operating system can save data on all the storage devices connected to the computer, and the storage devices are called drives. On each drive, files are separated in containers called folders. So we create folders, we name them, and we save them into a folder. Files are going to remain on that storage device even after the computer is turned off or the storage device is removed from the computer and the user decides to remove it. So organizing files. So we know we put them in folders. Another word for a folder is a directory. These folders help us to organize our files and easy to search and find them. And each folder can contain subfolders. Right, so this is an example of files here. And there's also another example of files. Different view. This is list view. This is folders. We know that they are yellow. Okay. We can use a strategy to make sure it's easy to find files and folders. The location that a file is saved in is recorded in the file path for that file. This path tells you on which storage device the file is saved, in which folder and subfolder, and the name of the file, and then finally the type of file with the file extension. Here's the diagram. That's the drive letter, the C drive, a folder called music, subfolder called Beethoven, and then Moonlight is a file name because there's a full stop there, and .mps is an extension. Right, so you have the backslash. Can you see the backslashes are there? And the colon, C colon, that is the name of the drive. D, C or D or H, whatever that letter is. So you can find your file path of a folder by clicking on the address bar in File Explorer. You can go and follow those on your computer. Managing files of folders. Okay, before we do that, let's have a look at this take note. Shortcut key to open File Explorer window, press the Windows key on your keyboard and the letter E at the same time, and then you get this Windows Explorer. Right, in order to make sure your computer is organized and you can easily locate the files, it's important to save in folders and give them useful names. And you obviously can do that in several ways. And you can follow those instructions. We did that in grade 9. And you know how to get into folders on your computer. Okay. Reasons for a file structure. Basically, it's a hierarchical structure is compared to a tree. And the structure is shaped as a pyramid where each row of items is linked to items beneath it. It's also known as an inverted tree. So your Windows operating system organizes drives, folders, and files in a hierarchical tree structure. Files are stored on a drive within directories. Directories is also known as folders. Okay, remember? Folders and directories, same thing. Okay, so if you organize your folders nicely, so there's your hard drive, and then you have folders, and then folders within folders, and maybe that will have files. So there's your inverted tree structure, nice diagram, and these are the files. They talk about the files as being the leaves and the folders being the branches. Nice diagram to look at and study. So, the highest level of the tree structure is the root directory, and that's like your C drive. They call it the root directory. Reasons for having a file structure: efficiency, productivity, organizing, identifying, take no time highlighting important words, and ensure that related data is grouped and organized together. Study all of your words there and your sentences by highlighting the important words, and then you'll get the rest of the sentence when you have to write a test. Okay, copying files, we know all about the shortcut keys. I'm not going to go through that. Moving files, renaming files, you can go through that activity. Deleting files, you know that it'll go to the recycle bin, and then that's temporary. You can restore them from the recycle bin. But here's the thing: if you delete files from a flash drive or network drives, they are permanently deleted and they cannot go to the recycle bin. The recycle bin gives you ability to restore, so be careful. But be careful when you delete from flash drive, network, or those two, flash drive and network, will permanently delete. So you know how to empty the recycle bin. You can right click on it, it shows you what to do. File naming conventions. Keep them short. File names must be short. Okay, before you do need to know the contents of a file. Navigate through. Okay, we're going to go look at the guidelines. Keeping good file naming conventions. But why do we want file name conventions? Why do we want a file name convention? FNC, because we want to know the contents of a file before we open it. We want to be able to navigate through lots of files to find what we're looking for, and we want to store different versions of the same document, name them according to date. So that's a good idea. Keep file names short and meaningful. Useful information as the name of the project, version numbers, and the date. There's more than one version, and date should always be in the format of that, so the files are organized in date order. Right, things to avoid with file naming: don't use these symbols here. Don't. And abbreviations that are not easy to understand. Non-specific words such as draft, don't use words like that. Right, so you have a quiz to do, and we'll see you later, and stay safe.